If you've been struggling to fall asleep or stay asleep, try listening to a guided meditation tonight on the Sleep Meditation for Women podcast. Meditations are a natural, easy way to quiet your mind and relax your body so you can get the sleep you need. Every night, Sleep Meditation for Women provides a new episode, from body relaxations to guided visualizations and even dedicated sleep sounds. Listen for free now by searching Sleep Meditation for Women on your favorite podcast player and begin sleeping better tonight.
This is Optimal Finance Daily, episode 2373, How to Retire in Under 10 Years by Christina Browning of ourrichjourney.com. And I'm your host and personal finance enthusiast, Diana Merriam. We're going to get right to today's post and start optimizing your life. How to Retire in Under 10 Years by Christina Browning of ourrichjourney.com. Are you on FIRE? I'm referring to the acronym FIRE, Financial Independence Retire Early, and not the literal definition. I hope that goes without saying. If you're on FIRE, again, referring to the acronym, yay! One of the best things about FIRE is the freedom you have to spend more time with your family and friends, to explore your hobbies, to focus on your health, to travel, to do whatever it is that you want to do. Amon and I achieved FIRE in 8 years, 2 years earlier than we expected. At the ages of 39 and 41, we quit our government jobs, retired, and moved to Portugal. Most people are shocked when we tell them we retired so young. Even more people are shocked when we tell them we were able to retire in less than 10 years after devising our retirement plan. In general, I think the shock comes from a lack of understanding. Who really understands how to retire in less than 10 years anyways? Well, we do. And it all begins with savings rates. The key to retiring in less than 10 years is all about increasing your savings rates. Your savings rate is the amount of money you make minus the amount of money you spend. Simple, right? Even better, there are 2 tried and true methods for increasing your savings rate. Number 1, make more money while keeping your expenses the same. And number 2, decreasing your expenses, thereby saving more. Technically, there's also a third way, making more and saving more. Whatever method you choose, the goal should be to increase your savings rate by as much as possible. When you do this, you can invest more. And when you can invest more, you can grow your wealth more. If your plan is to grow your wealth in the stock market, which is what Amon and I did, you'll want to grow your stock portfolio to 25 times your annual expenses. This equation comes from the 4% rule. The 4% rule is all the talk in the FIRE community. The rule became popular from the Trinity study. Not familiar with the Trinity study? Here's a quick breakdown. It's a study conducted by a group of finance professors at Trinity University in Texas. The study calculated retirement portfolio success rates with various monthly withdrawal rate assumptions and various portfolio asset allocations. In other words, it looked at portfolios that had a mix between stocks and bonds, and it looked at different withdrawal rates at 3%, at 4%, at 5%, and so on. And it looked at the success rate of people withdrawing that money and being able to withdraw that money throughout a 30-year retirement. The success rate was based on whether money remained in the investment portfolio throughout the life of the portfolio. Based on the numbers, the study concluded that someone with a retirement portfolio of 100% stocks could safely withdraw 4% from their investment account, adjusting for inflation, each year and not run out of money over the course of 30 years. The study also showed a 100% success rate for an investment portfolio that consisted of 75% stocks and 25% bonds with a withdrawal rate of 4%. But when a portfolio was more heavily weighted in bonds, the study concluded that the success rate for the portfolio decreased. So what does the Trinity study mean for you if you want to retire in less than 10 years? Assuming you want to grow your wealth in the stock market, it means you need to grow your stock portfolio to 25 times your projected annual expenses in retirement so that you can safely withdraw 4% from your portfolio. Let's work with some actual numbers to better illustrate my point. The average American family makes $60,000 a year. Let's say that your projected annual expenses in early retirement are $60,000. Based on the 4% rule, you would need an investment portfolio of $1.5 million or $60,000 times 25 before you could safely retire with a high likelihood of never running out of money during retirement. This is because historically, the average stock market return has been about 8%. If you only pull 4% from your stock portfolio, even adjusting for inflation, about 3%, you would only be pulling the interest from your portfolio. In other words, you wouldn't have to touch your principal balance. Mathematically, the 4% rule makes sense. But how can you grow a stock portfolio to 25 times your projected annual expenses in retirement? It all goes back to a high savings rate and compound interest. Another illustration with numbers. Let's look at two families, Family A and Family B. Both families make $60,000 a year. Family A is the average American family making $60,000 a year. They spend the typical 30% of their income on housing, 20% of their income goes to food, 10% goes to clothing, 15% goes towards transportation, 12% goes to medical expenses, 3% is spent on entertainment and other expenses, and 10% goes to savings, only $500 a month. In total, Family A spends 90% of its income and saves 10%. Let's assume that this family's expected expenses in retirement remain the same. This means that this family would need $1.35 million to retire. With a monthly savings of $500 invested at a return rate of 8%, it would take this family more than 50 years to retire. 50 years just sounds, insert sad face emoji. But there's a better way. Let's look at Family B. Family B also makes $60,000 a year, but Family B house hacks, so they spend 0% of their income on housing. They also eat out less, so they only spend 10% of their income on food. They practice minimalism, so they only spend 3% on clothing. They drive a used car, so they only spend 5% on transportation. Their medical bills are the same as Family A, 12%, but Family B spends only 3% on entertainment. The big difference between these two families is that Family B has managed to save a whopping 67%, $3,350 each month. In total, Family B spends 33% of its income and saves 67%. Assuming that Family B's expected expenses in retirement remain the same, this means that this family would need $494,000 to retire. With a monthly savings of $3,350 invested at a return rate of 8%, it would take this family less than 10 years to retire. Less than 10 years. It's possible. Maybe you're not like Family A or Family B. That's not the point. The point is that by increasing your savings rate, you're propelling yourself closer to FIRE. And isn't that the end goal? Let me rephrase my rhetorical question. That is the end goal. So do yourself a favor. Increase your savings rate and get closer to FIRE. Your future self will thank you. You just listened to the post titled How to Retire in Under 10 Years by Christina Browning of FIREjourney.com. Did you know that even if you have health insurance, you could still be overpaying for your prescription medications? Before you fill your next prescription, just checking GoodRx may help you beat your copay price. GoodRx is the fast and free way to save up to 80% on the price of your prescriptions. All you need to do is search for your medication on the GoodRx website or app and show your discount at the pharmacy counter. It's that easy. Not to mention, GoodRx doesn't just work for new prescriptions. It can help you save big on all your refills too. You know how much frugality means to me and how many ways I try to save, but never before have I seen a way to save on prescriptions. I've really loved GoodRx. It's extremely easy even for the older members of my family that I've recommended it to. So for simple, smart savings on your prescriptions, check GoodRx. Go to goodrx.com/OFD. That's goodrx.com/OFD. goodrx.com/OFD. In my experience, early retirement is an agitating concept for most people because they assume it's simply not possible. The word retirement typically is understood to mean not working, and our culture glorifies work and productivity. So in many ways, retirement is also unappealing. But I think of retirement as an endpoint where your work is no longer dictated by your financial needs. For example, when Michael Jordan retired from basketball, no one expected him to sit around and do nothing. We all expected that he would do something after that, and we should expect that from our own retirements as well. I retired from my corporate career, but I didn't sign a blood oath that I would never again make an income. Keep in mind that there are different flavors of FIRE. The one that I'm following right now is known as F.I.R.E. I basically front-loaded my traditional retirement savings. If I don't touch what I have right now, even if I don't contribute one more dollar, it will grow through the power of compound interest to what I need in my 60s, which is when I'll start drawing down. This has allowed me to downshift much sooner than waiting until I have 25 times my yearly expenses, also known as my F.I.R.E number. Also, because my circumstances have changed so much over the 8 years I've been pursuing F.I.R.E, my F.I.R.E number continues to be a moving target. F.I.R.E allows me to gain all the benefits of traditional F.I.R.E and that I have full autonomy over my time, but it maintains flexibility because my focus on self-employment provides me the ability to turn up or turn down my level of income as needed or desired. Even if you're in the large majority who aren't interested in early retirement, the way you get there is the way you get to any financial goal. Live below your means and invest the gap between your income and expenses. But that should do it for today. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll be here reading to you tomorrow, where your optimal life awaits.